up, everybody? I'm Chris. I play drums for Kooked Out. Started when I was about 15, and I took lessons for a little bit. I had a couple drum teachers that were pretty influential when I first started, and then I graduated to eventually going on to more of my own thing, playing with bands. Was in a couple bands, went to school a little bit for it, and then ended up finding Kooked Out. When I first started, I first knew I wanted to start when I went to Warped Tour for the first time and saw this band playing, and the drummer looked so enthusiastic to be there, and the energy really came across, and I definitely knew at that point that I wanted to play the drums. Yeah, so Slipknot was probably one of my first influences when I was like 15, 16. Joey Jordison had a big impact on why I started. It was just he put on a great show. Drum parts were super unique, and I was just infatuated by the whole performance. He did a lot of cool things that not many people were doing at the time. Yeah, and I just kind of fell in love with that style of music for a while. 60s surf music, the Zombies, the Police, Blaine from the Wrecking Crew, Blink-182, Travis Barker. A lot more varied artists that I listen to now. So started noticing that Blaine was playing on every hit record basically, and I thought that was awesome for the simple fact that it's such a amazing accomplishment. And you know, his drums to this day are probably some of the best sounding drums on a bunch of different recordings that he's done. Like Be My Baby by the Ronettes, that snare drum sounds amazing. Yeah, he definitely played to the song rather than just played as an example of a technique or anything like that. The parts fit so well, and that's the reason why they're hit songs. And that's something that became more important to my playing as I progressed through the years. I started getting less obsessed with being flashy and more fitting the parts of the song. Travis has great energy, great parts that are fun to listen to and fit the style very well. He has amazing technique, both marching band and drum set, and yeah, it just puts on a show. It's just very fun to watch. Ginger Baker, I love Ginger Baker. His hi-hat accents with the left foot when he's doing a groove creates this kind of certain rhythm that's very unique to him, and his tom fills are very melodic and always within a certain kind of pattern to it. So it's very fun to watch, and he's a very interesting person as well. Ringo always makes the perfect drum parts for the song. There's never any extra stuff that doesn't belong there, and some grooves are even as simple as, you know, 3 or 4 notes, but it all works, and it's never really been done before, I feel, in the same way. I'd probably say Charlie Watts, and he has such a unique timing and feel with lifting up his hi-hat hand when he hits the snare drum and things like that. The feel between the band is incredible. I really like Stuart Copeland a lot, and I started listening to their first record a while back, like Outlandos Stia More. It had very cool influences of punk and reggae, and I found that combination pretty cool. He's very unique in his style of playing too. Stuart Copeland kind of gets, he shifts the beat in a certain way, and it makes the song sound very unique to the Police. This kit right here, this gold one, is a custom kit by Grover Custom Drums, and I actually worked there for a bit and built this one. I didn't paint it, but I built all the shells and bearing edges and all that fun stuff. And then I had it painted by, this is actually the exact Ludwig Gold Sparkle color, even though it's not a Ludwig drum set, by Vigent Custom Drums. And that guy's great. He did a great job matching the color, pretty spot on. So I try to use a couple of vintage elements to the kit, and I tried to incorporate that when I built it. The heads I use are vintage coated ambassadors rather than regular ones. They're slightly thinner and kind of give more of a vintage sound. The bearing edges are rounded, kind of more of a vintage sound. And then also the sizes. I use this one mainly. It's a 20-inch by 16, I want to say, and it really has a punchy tone. And then I also have another bass drum in the same color that's a little bit weirder of a size that not many people even have because it's custom. It's 11 by 24, so it looks like shorter in the middle and kind of John Bonham sized diameter. So back in the day, I used a giant drum set, and then I pared it down accordingly to what I actually need. I tend to use just a 4-piece kit, rack tom, floor tom, bass drum, snare drum, and then very minimalist on the minimalistic on the cymbals. Got a crash, a ride, and a hi-hat, and those are kind of unique sizes as well. I have a 26-inch ride, 17-inch hi-hats, and then an 18-inch crash, and they're all kind of dry and not overly loud, not very harsh on the ears. So this is my Gretsch 14 by, I want to say 6.5 bell brass snare. It's solid brass, so it weighs about 25 pounds, and it's a pain to take everywhere, but it sounds very cool. It's probably the best snare that I've ever owned. We do pop-up shows out on the street, or in Faneuil Hall in Boston. I use this cajon instead of bringing a drum set. This is a Schlagwerk cajon from Germany, and it's served me well over the years. It's very versatile, and I use these tambourines and shakers on my feet also while I'm out there, and kind of creates a lot of sound with not very many instruments. I have to say, probably a Cuban sandwich. I get one any place I can get it. When we're on the road, I try them at all the venues and see which one's the best, but I love that combination of flavors for some reason. So when I'm not playing and have a minute, I love the aquarium hobby, aquascaping, and kind of designing fish tanks, and that's kind of just another creative expression. I love everything to do with that, how you can create like this little ecosystem, and it's fascinating to watch it grow. And I actually have a 180-gallon fish tank that's waiting to be set up, but a lot of South American cichlids, and I actually have a puffer fish too, so that's kind of cool. John hit me up in 2014, way back, and saw one of my YouTube videos or something that I posted, and needed a fill-in drummer for a show, a Halloween show, and we basically hit it off ever since. And I did the show, and then started kind of officially becoming a member, and then recording all the way up until now. So when I joined the band, I had a very limited knowledge of different styles and never really ventured out past metal and kind of punk and that style too much. So when I joined Kooked Out, I got more into learning about every style and trying to incorporate elements of everything into our songs, and I think that's what makes us unique, and I think that's why we come across in a slightly different way, because we tend to mash up kind of different styles into songs that you might not think go together, but the elements definitely work and everything is cool in its own way. So yeah, so I didn't ever really truly sing before. I kind of learned in this band and try to build up my skills with that as we're going along. So I do sing on the record a little bit and kind of do harmonies and backup things, and it's exciting. It's a new chapter, and it's kind of pushing me in a really cool way. I'd say I probably try to approach it not like an exercise. Try to think a little bit differently in my phrasing, and just what might not go together can sometimes sound really cool together. So whether that's, doing something that typically you wouldn't see, or just a way to get into a different part, or just trying to take a creative approach, not just implement an exercise into a song that doesn't really fit. So I try to think melodically on the drums and not just how fast I can go or certain things like that. A lot of different tom placement ideas and things like that in our own songs are really important, and just the composition as a whole. Kooky Bus is our bus, and it's multicolored, kind of hippie bus, and we travel around in it, use it as a tour bus, play shows all around. We got it playing shows. That's how we paid for it. We really grassroots kind of vibe to the whole thing, and it's been a huge asset. It's very unique, and everyone knows it around town, and they see us all the time, so it's very fun.